what's the kind of the spotlight match this week? Is there?
I would say it has to be Wareham at Dighton Rehoboth.
Okay.
Wareham is 3-2. Last week they lost to Somerset. EJ Bennett had two touchdowns, both of their
Yep.
touchdowns, and they're both 2-point conversions. Dighton Rehoboth is 3-1 and 3-0 in the South Coast Conference. They have a great passing combination. Brian
Okay.
Espinoza and Brett, I think it's Crowshoe is how you say it, or Crowtoo.
Okay.
I used to be at the Taunton Gazette, and I remember watching Brian Espinoza a few years ago when he was only, freshman and sophomore. And I mean, he was playing on varsity then.
So he's
a track kid.
Mm-hmm.
He can run. He can, obviously he can catch. I think one of the games recently he had 4 touchdown catches.
Wow.
So I mean, it's gonna be fun to watch. Both offenses kind of see what they can do, kind of slug it out. It should be a high-scoring affair.
Tim, you've seen Wareham a few times this year. What's are they playing a little bit under their potential? Are they, where are they at? I mean, it seems like they, you thought they were going to beat Somerset and they didn't. You thought they were going to beat Fairhaven and they didn't. So are they just feeling their way out here? What's going on with them?
I do think that they're not playing to their potential in some respects. And I talked to Coach Nault after the game, and he said there was a lot of positives to take out of it, but there's still things to work on. And you would think that a team like this that's so, veteran heavy wouldn't need to work on so many things. But it seems like each week there's something that turns out to be their Achilles heel, win or lose. And excuse me, last week it seemed like they did have the injury to Ryan Pina, and that did.
Okay.
I disagree with Coach Nault. I think it actually took the kids out of their game a little bit more than he thought that it did.
Mm-hmm. What?
He's a senior wide receiver.
Okay.
He actually took a helmet in the back, and according to Dan, it was a spot where he was prone to spasms anyway. And so when he went down, it started spasming, and they thought it best just not to move him. But he was moving. I was standing right over him when the medics were working on him, and he was moving his extremities and everything. So we hope he's fine. We wish him well. But it did seem to take the kids out. Somerset came out with a couple of big plays right after that. Wareham buckled down a little bit, but they just couldn't do enough. And in the end, it was 22 unanswered points in the second half. So.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they have the talent edge over Dighton Rehoboth. I think that, this is basically where Wareham's this is pretty much seems like where the SEC is going to be won or lost in this game.
Yeah, they will be up for this game.
Yeah, I would pick Wareham. And I don't always pick the local teams, but I think Wareham's going to, based on my extensive knowledge of.
I haven't decided who I'm going to pick yet.
You haven't decided.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah, I haven't
That's
decided.
Fine.
I saw
Take
Dighton.
your time.
I saw Dighton Rehoboth against Apponequet, and their line is their line is just huge. I mean, they dominated the line of scrimmage. The passing combination between those two kids I was talking about was unbelievable. They can run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they look good. They looked really good, and they're the only undefeated South Coast Conference team still.
Right. So this will be. So if they win this one, they probably going to be the team. And if they do win, it looks like we probably won't have any of our teams in the postseason for the first time since I can remember. We've always had a team. Let's quickly go through some of the other matchups. Apponequet Durfee.
Yep.
Gotta like Apponequet there.
Yep.
Durfee's usually pretty bad. Stang at Carver.
Stang at Carver. I think Stang could win their second game of the year.
Yeah, Carver has played a lot of tough opponents, and Stang is not so tough. So
Carver's one of those teams where, though, because I get to see them a lot, based on where I live, I usually cover the games in Carver, and they're one of those teams that over the years they might not be the best team record-wise, but they will take it to a team. I saw them take it to Apponequet in the first game of the season, and I was just surprised. I thought Carver was going to be a much better team than they turned out to be, but they just whatever it is, they just never seem to get the win, but they always seem to be a tough team to.
So they have Carver toughness.
They do.
Cranberry
strong.
I mean, this year they've been outscored. I think it's like 130 to 36.
So maybe it won't be close.
It seems like they really.
But they have
struggled.
played tough. They've played. In high school, sometimes it's all about who you're playing.
Yep.
And when you play teams that are kind of in your own ball, it sounds like a toss-up game to me. But
yeah, I think it could go either way. But I think that's on Stang's favored for that, because they're coming off their win. They've moving some players around on offense. I mean, I think they could get another win this week.
We're pulling for them. Now, Fairhaven is probably not going to get a win against King Philip, doesn't look like.
King Philip, 5-0. They've outscored their opponents 185 to 13.
Wow.
I think they've had 3 or 4 shutouts this year.
So if Fairhaven wins that one, tip of the hat to them.
Yeah.
If not, no shame in that.
Yeah, if they keep it close, that should be a moral victory right there.
And we got Voke at Bourne. You know, they both kind of have similar records. It seems like Bourne has played better. That's probably Bourne
has had a lot of close losses.
Yeah.
2 of them were by a combined 2 points. Another one I think was by 7 or 8 points.
Yeah.
And then Voke just, they have a great passing game. They just, I don't know what it is. You saw Voke, right?
Mm-hmm.
This once. What's? I mean, it seems like they can put the points up there, but they just.
Yeah, and that's. It's one of those teams where you can see what they do really well, but then where their weaknesses are kind of glaring. And in that particular game, they did not defend against the run at all.
Yeah.
And Wareham had something like 410 yards on the ground, and you're going to shoot yourself in the foot when you play that way, because you can't, with a team like Wareham, you can't depend on outscoring them. Maybe with a team like Bourne, it's a different story, but
yeah.
And that's really just where they hurt themselves. They could not.
No defense.
Could not stop the run, and they certainly can do everything that they need to do on offense. It's just that the defense scared me going forward, because they're not going to be able to hang if that's the way that they play.
We got Dartmouth at Barnstable.
Yep.
Which should be a pretty competitive game. Another chance for Dartmouth to get a win.
Yep. I know Barnstable lost to New Bedford last week.
Yep.
Late in the game. They have a really good quarterback, Doug Cook. He's been on a lot of plays. I think Buddy said last week he was a little off. That's why they didn't do so well against New Bedford. But it should be a good one. I mean, if Dartmouth can go out there and get a win, I think it'll be a huge boost for the team. Suffered their first OCL loss ever last week to Taunton.
Just doesn't seem like they have it this year, though. I mean,
you know what?
They play New Bedford next week, and that's
Yeah, I mean, he's starting sophomores. A lot of them, they're making plays, but it's like they can't seem to put enough together, in a game, and they're giving up the big play. That's the problem. The defense. It's a young team. I think he's really, Rick White's building for the future. Looking towards next year or the year after. Which sometimes you have to do that.
You do. You do.
The other game.
You can't just go out and hire kids to play for you.
No.
That's illegal.
Not
don't do
unless
that.
you're a private school.
Right. I don't think you hire them though, do you?
No, you don't hire them.
That's a show for a different time, but we can definitely get into that.
And then Saturday we got Tri-County, Old Colony. Did I miss one?
We skipped over Old Rochester. They're at Scituate.
Scituate?
Yep.
See, Scituate.
With that bus ride.
That's like Sandwich. You got to beat these weird S teams from strange towns. That's in my book.
Yeah, I mean, they seemed to have a pretty balanced attack last week, Scituate. They had over 300 yards rushing, and then they had a couple touchdown passes, but it was
against Middleborough.
Middleborough, yes, Middleborough.
If we have any Middleborough viewers, sorry, your team is bad, just so you know.
Yeah, it's a rebuilding year.
The Sachems are not winning.
Yes,
games.
the Sachems are not winning.
It's not it's Sachems, isn't it?
I've always called it the Sachems.
Tim?
I can go either way.
Sachems.
Sachems.
I can go either way.
I think it's Sachems.
Sachems.
Okay, fair enough. And
you
what about
say Sachems and I say Sachems.
And what do you say? Tri-County is 4-1 against Old Colony, 1-4.
Yeah, that's another one like Fairhaven. The Old Colony and Fairhaven players need to just.
Hey, they're
It's a tough challenge. Old Colony they just can't seem to get anything going, offensively or defensively. They're just struggling right now. They opened the season with a win over Trinity, and they've lost 4 straight.
Yeah.
I know they put in a better effort last week. That's what Coach was saying.
Yep.
That the kids were making plays and they were really into it. I don't think they have the talent to compete with some of these teams.
Yeah, they're doing their best.
Yeah, they're trying hard. So.